If you've been feeling off lately, like you're functioning, you're showing up, doing what you need to do, but you don't quite feel like yourself anymore, you're not alone. And more importantly, there's a reason for that. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this happens and what it actually takes to reconnect to yourself again. Most people think losing yourself is something that just simply happens over time. It's almost like it's something that we expect to happen as we age, but it doesn't. It definitely does not have to be this way. It's usually just a result of adaptation. We've adapted to stress, we've adapted to our responsibilities, to relationships, and somewhere along the line in this process, you slowly start moving away from yourself. And let me just say this a little differently. Let me be clear about this. Let me do this. You didn't lose yourself. I didn't lose myself. We learned how to survive without fully being ourselves. When women say things like, I don't feel like myself anymore, they're not usually talking about just one thing. So this shows up in many ways. It shows up as feeling emotionally flat or even numb, feeling disconnected from your body, going through motions, just going through the motions, losing interest in things you used to enjoy, and sometimes not even knowing what you feel anymore, not even knowing what you enjoy anymore because you simply stop paying attention to those things. And this is where it gets confusing because from the outside, everything can look fine. I was the master at this. And I know a lot of high functioning women like myself, we are. We are the masters of wearing that mask. So it can look very confusing from the outside. Everything looks perfectly fine, but internally, something feels very off and we know it. This is where survival mode comes in. When life requires you to constantly manage. You're at work, you're managing, you're the boss, you have everything flowing and going very well. You're managing your family, other responsibilities, and your emotions. Your nervous system shifts into protection mode, as it should. It's doing its job. However, what I've learned is that when the body is focused on protection, it stops prioritizing connection. And this can be connection to others, family, friends, your partner, and even connection, more importantly, to yourself. And the part that most people missed, I know I did, you can be doing everything right and still feel so disconnected. When you're disconnected from yourself, it affects everything. It affects your energy. It's going to affect your emotions, your relationships, your sense of identity, and yes, even your desire. Because desire does not just require attraction, it requires presence. You have to be in a state of presence, you have to be aware. And presence is hard to access when your body is in survival mode. It is just a difficult thing to do. Looking back on all of this, I can see things that I didn't have the language for years ago. There were moments where I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do, but something still didn't feel right. I didn't understand that then, but I understand it very differently now, which is why I want to share it with you. Hopefully, that you can learn something from my experiences. So, if you've been feeling very disconnected from yourself, this one thing is important for you to understand. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It may just mean that you've been in survival mode for longer than you realize. If you want to reconnect with yourself again, it doesn't start with doing one more thing. It starts with creating the space to feel. Start paying attention to when you feel most like yourself and when you feel like you're just getting through the day. Start giving yourself small moments when you're not performing, when you're not managing, when you're not trying to solve anything. You're just simply present. You're aware. You deserve those small moments and even bigger moments where you're just present. You're allowed to be in tune with yourself, your body, to feel, to smell, to taste, to love, to just be present and aware of your body, your surroundings. Because reconnecting with yourself isn't about becoming someone new, it's about returning to who you were before you had to learn to adapt. And that awareness matters so much more than you think it does. Now, if you're ready to go even deeper, I created something to help you reconnect with yourself in a more intentional way. You can find it in my stand store. The link is in the description for this video. And as always, before you go, take a moment and be honest with yourself. What is your body, your heart, and your life trying to tell you right now that you've been pushing past? Because becoming doesn't start with changing everything. It starts with finally listening. I'll meet you right back here in the next conversation. Let me know what you guys want to talk about.